date or remove the date, July 27th, because we are in August.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to TekTalk in KROOM, your private and secure room, our own local platform, which is a Data Clean Room. Thank you for joining us on our this second session of TekTalk. We are glad to have you. Many viewers from our first session asked what is a Data Clean Room. So tonight, we have invited again our two wonderful speakers who are experts on the topic of Data Clean Room to share with us the knowledge of a Data Clean Room. Our first speaker is Mr. Vijay, who is sitting right here together with me in our studio. Vijay is the Managing Director of VIPA Malaysia Sdn Bhd, a technology activator headquartered in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA. He will be speaking on the direct consumer aspect of a Data Clean Room. Our second speaker is Dr. Ahmad Moradi, who is joining us live from Florida, USA. He will be speaking on the business aspect of a Data Clean Room, how advertisers and brands can benefit from a Data Clean Room like KROOM, and why we are getting rid of the cookies. Dr. Ahmad Moradi is the Chief Executive Officer of Nextdesk.com, who is an expert on web real-time communications, AI streaming video. So with that, we would like to invite Vijay to give his presentation and sharing on the Data Clean Room. Vijay, over to you.
Thank you very much, Patrick. I'm glad to come back here again on TekTalk. And we had a special request whereby our viewers wanted to have a very layman understanding of Data Clean Room. Hence, what we did was we broke the presentation into two segments. One is for direct to consumer, which I'll be addressing in a very watered down layman terms. And our Chief Science Officer, Dr. Ahmad Moradi, he will be addressing the business to consumer section where, as you said just now, the brands, the advertisers, and the corporations will be addressed. So let's have our presentation document now. And we are here to talk about what is a Data Clean Room. And in a layman term, a watered down version. Next, please. In a watered down version, a Data Clean Room is a technology or a service piece of software that helps bring data together while keeping user data private and secure. Now, Data Clean Rooms have strict privacy controls, which provides the subscriber a private and secure room. Now, let's have a look at what a Data Clean Room is. Now, I have broken down the Data Clean Room into three variables: data, clean, and room. Now, let's have a look at what does data mean. The data in this instance is the data of the subscriber and visitor collected, like your name, your email address, your telephone number, and your content that you're going to upload in the KROOM, your social media links that you're going to upload in the KROOMs, and your e-commerce links that you're going to upload in the KROOMs. This constitute your data in the Data Clean Room. Now, what does clean mean? Now, clean is literally means that there is no apps in the KROOM. There is no pre-installed and downloaded app or software in the clean room. There's no third-party cookies. There's no pre-installed widgets, no virus, no malware, hence denoting that the room is clean. Just like pretty much how you move into a new house, which is clean. And let's have a look at what a room means. Now, a room is one single place to conduct all of the subscribers' internet needs and requirements as follows. Your social media like your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, your Twitter, all your social media needs now can be conducted in KROOM. Your broadcasting needs are conducted in KROOM. Your content creation is conducted in KROOM, which is known as user-generated content, UGC. Your e-commerce needs are now conducted in your KROOM, and your advertising and marketing needs are now conducted in your KROOM. Hence, Data Clean Room. Next, please. Now, the Data Clean Room core elements, okay? The first element is your security and your privacy controls, whereby now the subscriber controls their own security and privacy needs. Meaningful privacy protection, like in our first show where we mentioned it's highly encrypted, it's permission-based, and then you've got transparent user data governance controls, where now the user now can have their own transparent controls of your data in your own clean room, and your subscribers' own analysis experience. Now you have got access to your own analytical data in the KROOM, and plus you can also integrate it with a third-party analytical services if you wish. Next, please. Now, today's talk is going to be broken down into two segments, like I earlier said, whereby data clean rooms are segmented for two client categories used. The first is the business to consumer, B2C, whereby our science officer, Dr. Ahmad Moradi, will be addressing, and the direct to consumer, D2C, whereby I will be addressing right now. Next, please. Now, the direct to consumer journey, we will explore the consumers or the subscribers' use of KROOM as a data clean room. Next. Now, what happens when the user subscribes to a KROOM? The subscriber's data is collected in a new client data platform, CDP, that will be known as your first-party data. The subscriber's first-party data now optionally may be connected to an AI identity resolution as a service. Now, the subscriber's first-party data is now connected to KROOM as a data clean room, and the subscriber is now ready to enjoy KROOM content. Next. Now, your first-party data connected to your client data platform, connected to your data clean room for broadcasting. Congratulations. Now you are a subscriber with your first-party data connected to a data clean room. Next. Welcome to KROOM. This is your KROOM. Let me explain the KROOM. You have got the header bar, horizontal top bar. Then you have got two left-hand side vertical bars. Now, the left-hand side bar, vertical bar, is for you to read your news, listen to the radio news, and your header in the background, you see, you can watch your latest news. And in the right-hand side, if you see, you as the subscriber now can invite a friend to come in the room to share the content of the room. And the header bar now is connected to your e-commerce for you to conduct your e-commerce needs. Next. Now let's have a look at the right-hand side collaboration bar, where now your KROOM buttons are there. Now you can know who is in the room. You can send the person who is in the room to another room as you wish. You have got a text chat which is private. You've got a download file where you can download a file. You have got a broadcasting button where you can do your own streaming. You've got a share screen button. You've got Twitter button. You've got Facebook button, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And most importantly, you've got a Chat GPT button which is integrated in the room for your use. Next. Now, K-Media platform has invested millions to provide a secured and protective KROOM serving Malaysians. Claim your KROOM as your room, your news, where you have now privacy and security. Enjoy your KROOM. Thank you. Over to you, Patrick.
Thank you, Vijay, for your wonderful and insightful presentation on KROOM, a data clean room. Now, let us invite Dr. Ahmad Moradi to give his talk on the business aspect of the data clean room. Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for joining us, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you. As usual, we are going to continue building this educational episode to inform, communicate, and educate, and introduce new guests and new colleagues that we have invited throughout the program, where they can basically endorse and support the initiatives that we are taking in the whole industry. As you probably know, internet has been contaminated with a lot of misinformation, fake news, a lot of things that it consumes time. Your time has become something that all advertisers and brands, they fight for. So they populate everything you do, right? With your banner ad, with your display, with your signs and everything else. And we as a human now, we have built a filter system ourselves where, for example, when we go to a grocery store, as an instance, we know the brands we like to purchase. We filter everything else in our brain. We go and pick up the items that we like and we move on to the checkout, right? This is a consumer behavior that Mr. Vijay just mentioned to you, which allows you now to enter into a surrounding, to a place, what we call KROOM, that you have privacy, you have security, you have things that now the noise is gone away, and now you can pay attention to what matters to you. So the room is designed to serve several purposes. In this particular section, we're just going to address the use of the KROOM in the advertising, in the sponsorship, in the branding, in the broadcasting mode that we have served many clients around the globe. So with that, let's share the presentation and we now proceed accordingly. Discovering KROOM is something that we want you all to do, because without it, something is going to change and transform. And one of them is obviously we are entering into what we call post-cookies era. What does it mean? We normally used to have cookies connected to each other, and every cookie would be a first-party data, second-party, and so forth. And then the use and abuse of those through CPM, through CPC, and all these derivatives became misleading. Advertisers felt that they are not getting their money's worth. They are doing a lot of broadcasting, but no return on investment. So we decided to look at things in a different paradox. KROOM became that. So let's go to the next slide, number 2. And let's take a look at what the clean room means to us. A data clean room claim. This is a technology, remember. This is something that the entire world is going to move into it. So it's not only about us. It's about who gets there first and who serves the market. And that is why KROOM has taken that initiative to become the first in Malaysia to broadcast and provide these services. So the objective is to provide a privacy safe environment that now we call it KROOM for marketeers and their partners to share sensitive enterprise data for cross-publishers measurement, targeting, deeper customer insight. And while data clean room's potential as a remedy for data deprecation induced woes is appealing, their long-term value is still a state of flux because we are taking this journey. We've never been there. Next, what we want to do is, first of all, is understand at first a data clean room arrives to you that is empty, actually, just like your own room. You know, now we got to decorate it. We got to fix it up. So that's why in the background, you see that picture that you have the possibility as advertisers to progressively populate these rooms with content, with the brands, with the sponsors, offering trusted advertisers premium environment that the subscribers can truly enjoy. And if they do not want to be part of that room, they simply just remove themselves. So that is one of the beauty of the privacy. But KROOM is a place to privately enjoy trusted content and with permission to share rooms link, invite friends that really matter. It's not your social media, thousands and 10,000s of people following you. It is basically you invite your closest friends inside the room because you're sharing content that matters to you. Next. Why clean room matters? Because one of the areas that the whole industry has looked at it is that they wanted to set a standard where everybody could deploy and become responsible for their, what Mr. Vijay mentioned to you, CDP, client data platform. So everybody is accountable for their data. Data becomes the next gold rush in digital economy because of data clean room that allows partners to securely share data. These two-part graphics that we are going to share with you and some of the data that we have for you gives you a little visual journey of where we are going. Next. First thing happens is you look at the first-party data on the left-hand side of the presentation, where subscribers, advertisers, and people that we know in general, they encounter with the first-party data through several methodologies: mobile devices, laptop, their customer relation management, e-commerce. For example, when you go to the grocery store and you have noticed there is something called UPC and a barcode that they scan, that scanner is your e-commerce in a physical world or online. But more importantly, the data that gets collected on e-commerce, the brands know how often you shop, where you shop, what you buy, how much you spend, what credit card you use. All of this information is available to them, okay? Because we work with all the CMOs around the globe. And then normally they take that and place it into what they call data warehouse, where they can do analytics, understanding how they can serve you better as a consumer. Okay, so that is really the goal of first-party data. So when that gets connected to KROOM, KROOM becomes an aggregator to help out the advertisers, to create more engagement, to build mutual trust and respect between brand and the consumers, and also provide timely insight information that they can manage and understand how their consumers are reacting to their brands, and this becomes one of the journeys that we take. Next. In the CDP market right now, there is a standard going on, and this is a standard by another party that has been provided as a purpose of disclosure and presentation, that data source types currently being used in the CDP, and the way that the migration of this market is going, it's a race right now, as I'm speaking with you. This race by the advertisers are that they have one objective: to be connected to their consumers, to provide the best service they can offer competitively. So next. May I have the next? Thank you. Clean room core elements have some fundamental assumptions. These assumptions are extremely important to provide a safety mechanism, a protocol inside the KROOM for the subscribers. Number one is all they should have these fundamental elements, and Mr. Vijay touched upon it for the consumers, but in here for the brands, security and privacy controls are embedded in the tools in this room. We have built robust processes to enable meaningful privacy protection and help to be transparent with the data governance and control, and also create ways that the content has permission through metadata and meta tag to pass through without moving the data actually. And a self-governing analysis experience that can be provided through CRMs, ERPs, and other services that the advertisers use to gauge, monitor their own campaign, allows them to create the core elements that foundationally allows to build the KROOM. Next. Now, as we talked about D2C, B2C always ultimately wants to reach out to its own customers. So there are two channels, right? Business to consumers and direct to consumers. So the KROOM becomes the catalyst to provide marketing and media ability for integrations and content, audience privacy. This is fundamentally very important to be sacred and maintain the brand's relationship. Customer insight, and also building journeys. Customer journey is extremely important. People want customer experience, user experience. They want to go into metaverses. They want to go to places that they've never been. So this kind of a journey, now KROOM becomes the catalyst to provide you. Next. So first thing we talk with is our chief marketing officers. And these are the colleagues that, according to the market statistics and the research, 76% of the B2C marketing executives have or intend to build a data strategy that is focused on using first-party data. So this have taken a what we call prerequisite over anything else that most organizations do, because SEOs and cookies will have a profound impact in their own recognition, search, and revenue stream. So B2C marketing executives now looking at this kind of things to drive authentic experience with their own content. Next. Here is where all of a sudden things change, because now you take a data clean room that is completely empty, right? And you transform it after cookies into a KROOM, and that KROOM can manifest itself into many ways. For example, in this next slide that you're just looking at it, for instance, you can click, and now we show you some of the example of the use case of how KROOM can transform from a data clean room to a very powerful marketing tool and technology, serving, let's say, our advertisers, our brands, and so forth, let's say during the holidays. Next. Here we are going to move forward relatively fast with the slides because we just want you to get a visual of what we are referring to. So K-Media, ICD, and video is the destination. Is designed to serve the CMOs and brands of K-Media and the KROOM. And we will have established and set up sample rooms and so forth that can help our brands to understand how they can better serve their clients in real time through KROOM with their consumers. Next. One example that we can talk about is watch party, for example. We can sponsor a brand and we can sponsor a content. And all of a sudden, in this particular case, one of our clients that they do esports, they use that to do watch parties, and then they bring the guests in, and the guests, they be able to enjoy and talk with each other in the convenience of their own room, and then subsequently enjoy the shared content that is being broadcasted to them. Next. A lot of our clients and a lot of possibilities that is coming when AI and Metaverse and Web 3.0 started fighting for market share. As you probably know, AI is now taking over. Metaverse and some of these areas have become secondary. But brands that we are working or have seen around the globe, like fashion and so forth, and banks, they all want to move into Metaverse. But they don't know how, because one of the problems is not everybody got those VR glasses or the gadgets and so forth. So to accomplish that, KROOM brings a 2D and a 3D together and allows you to create an experience like you've never seen before. Next. There are times like on the holiday season that we want to do multi-streamings, right? We want to share the holiday season. We want to be together, but we physically sometimes can't. So KROOM can bring us together from distance to locations. We can look at the events, like in this particular case that you see from 4 corners of the earth during the holiday season. Streaming takes place, so you can take participation and be part of that holiday season, the New Year season, the Eid season. Every one of these holidays now, it becomes a KROOM experience. Next. TekTalk and KROOM, as you can see in this illustration, there are tickets to be available, for instance, for events, for concerts, for programs, where you can get 2 tickets, 2 guests, 4 guests, 6 guests inside your digital media room. If you look at that picture that it's in the center, that it says World's Class Luxury Digital Media Room Experience, if you see those second floors, if you will, think of KROOM as those little rooms where you have a complete privacy to the entire content, where the audience in a large venue like Let's Stream that they're watching right now can subscribe and watch. So this kind of areas is where you create privacy, you bring KROOM, and you create a streaming box for the theater style that every KROOM now can become a beneficiary of that content. Next. Another area that is extremely valuable to us and to our brands and our clients is to be able to do peercast. You cannot do everything inside one room. So one of our value proposition is all of a sudden you may need 100,000 rooms. You may need 1,000,000 rooms. You may need 10,000 rooms, depending on the project, the campaign, and so forth you do. We can instantaneously provide those in real time for you, and then connect that into a KPI, which we will refer to it later on. But the idea is that when a person purchases an item as a consumer, they receive a KROOM. And when they receive the KROOM, now your brand automatically connects to the KROOM. And from that KROOM, you have the ability to present your side of the story, your product, your campaign, and everything that you're working through there. Next. KROOM also can become your office. A lot of people use video conferencing services, for example. The premium account is set up that it can accommodate up to 1,000 connections inside the rooms. So therefore, you can create large events, small events, make it into a program for webinars, webcasting, collaboration, communication. Just like you see the room that we are using right now and being broadcasted to you, imagine you have the same capability that you can use for your own personal or business use. Next. One of the other areas is that you will see KROOM is going to feature some of the movies for you in partnership with some of their brands and a sponsorship. For instance, we offer you a pizza. You buy a pizza and you get a movie. Or we provide you with the library of the movies that you can subscribe. And these libraries are going to be exclusive by KROOM, for example. These contents are going to be submitted where you cannot find it anywhere else. This value proposition of KROOM is going to present you with opportunities that you can also let us know what you like to see, what you want to watch. We'll shortly in the future, we will be sending you forms as you register that it allows you to tell us what your likes and dislikes are. And because of your privacy and security, we include those features and we remove the features. And we also give you the control to do those kind of things. Next. Sometimes retail is important, especially during the holiday seasons. So as you can see, KROOM can become all of a sudden your shop. It can provide you with the tools and all of a sudden offer e-commerce services, brands, products, like you see in this case for the ladies and so forth. So it's becomes your online shop, the same KROOM. So you can see a data clean room can have many fragmentation of its own use, and that is one of the reasons that it becomes extremely powerful. Next. You can have an online showroom like we did during the holiday season. For instance, a lot of people couldn't go outside during the COVID days, Patrick, if you recall. So one of the area was, well, I still need service. How do I get that? The showrooms in the auto dealers, connecting them to the parts, connecting them to the service department, connecting them to the accessories or to the showroom, all of this becomes part of the showroom KROOM capabilities. Next. Your online classroom. My goodness, we have done so many of these projects in the past with various major universities, Catholic University, with Cornell, and all of these other institutions, George Washington. One of the areas that we feel important is bringing that education through KROOM to our constituents, to our publishers, and at the same time, helping them to learn and with the learning that they can apply. So this becomes a perpetual motion that we are going to feature a series of classrooms, teachings about AI, about classes, about digital rooms, how you can use them. Even some of our colleagues in here, like Mr. Ru, that he's doing the studio work, he can become the teacher to teach you how you can do the OBS and the broadcasting that we are using right now as a service for yourself. Next. Concerts, events, like you see that in here has been done in different parts of the world. We are going to be bringing that through KROOM because that makes it very viable. We can go to a local location, open up the laptop immediately and create an event with the KROOM. It's unheard of because this kind of things is already embedded into the service. So you can create a beautiful, like my colleague Patrick says, extraordinary experiences that you never had realized. Next. So to give you some highlights like we are doing right now, sponsoring events, TekTalk is a sponsored event. So if you have any objectives or something that you like and you wish to learn, please share it with us. Let us know what you like to know. We will provide you and educate you and help you to understand more. but more importantly, KROOM that is made for privacy. And by the way, good, let's go back to the popcorn. I'm getting hungry. So so with the popcorn, we essentially provide the capability of creating gateway through KROOM to help you sell, to expand and enhance your brand through what we call 25x advertising. Share the content that it matters to you and to your consumers, that it does not get populated by the third parties and it takes away the authenticity of it. So therefore, it's validated by you. Next. Events, real-time streaming like we are doing, shared content, post-productions, content that it matters to audience, from esports to sports to news and so forth. Next. Connecting this KROOM was one of the major challenges for us because many of our organization colleagues, they use content delivery networks for their media streaming. For example, when you watch a movie, right? It's a CDN delivered called Content Delivery Network. So we enabled the KROOM to connect to these CDNs. And now it can allow to bring a multitude of content from different worlds of library back to the CDN and for you guys. Well, you can shop online, for example. And one of the problems with the shopping online has been for us, especially during COVID, people have questions to ask, right? They want to know the color, the size, things like that. They want to do certain things. These KROOMs are ideal to help the customers, to handhold them, to tell them about suggestive selling, about the way that they can upgrade a plan and things in that nature. And then ultimately becomes a channel for the brand to communicate from a DMC to a DMRs that we go next. So in general, one of the things that we like all of our audience, both from sponsors, brands, advertisers, and the colleagues that we have worked in collaboration with K-Media, to really give it a shot and discover the possibilities of KROOM and how KROOM can complement their print ad advertising. These two becomes a very powerful yin and yang, if you will, because advertisers are, we've seen it, but with the call to action to bring them inside the KROOM, you are creating CTAs, call to action. You're giving them incentives, coupons, programs that you feel is necessary for your brand and nobody else. Next. So K-Media, obviously being the official sponsor of the KROOM and having, by the way, don't forget, if you like our t-shirts, please let us know. And we'll also put you in the list. So choose which one you like, by the way, KROOM or TekTalk. We are putting a little contest together that we think is going to be fun with our audiences and so forth. But the main goal is interaction, communication with our audiences, with our brands, with our advertisers, not just to be a passive pusher of a content, but be reactive so we can help them to increase their sales, their revenue, their recognition into the next session. Please, next. Now, there is one thing that we also want to summarize that is extremely important. A lot of people talk about key performance indicator. And in advertising, we all talk about what is a KPI. So one of the things that we decided to do is really explain what a KPI means in this today's digital economy, because the old days, the numbers have changed into new algorithms. So that is why you see in here, we just charted that if you keep people informed, if you keep people involved, if you keep people interested, right, and inspired, now the brand can provide a variety of services. Next. And in short, we believe a KROOM, a private room that is designed to serve both the consumers, the premium purchasers that they like to have their own services in addition to KROOM, as well as being able to provide this kind of services to our clients and brands and advertisers. It's a place that we all can join, collaborate, and communicate. Back to you, Patrick.
Wow, Dr. Morati, that was a wonderful presentation. The only word I can express is wow. There are so many things you can do in KROOM.
Yes.
E-commerce, online, sports, event, concerts. But I think from the presentation, I can understand that that a data clean room aggregates and anonymize user information to protect
Yes.
user privacy. That is the primary goal for KROOM. And
Yes.
while we're providing the advertiser with all this non-personalized or identified information, non-PII, to target specific audience or demographic profile or for audience management, I think some of our audience and viewer would like to know in KROOM, where do you store the subscribers or user data after you have aggregate and anonymize it?
Good question. There are certain basic information that it arrives at what is called CDP, the Client Data Platform. That is designed exclusively for K-Media into a storage, into a server that allows you to have this as your, what we call a container, for a better lack of a term. This container right now in the servers allows them to register, to log in, to authenticate themselves, to verify themselves, because without that, we don't have that KYC, know your client syndrome. So we always retain that with the first cookies, because with the first cookies, we navigate them, but we don't have second and third and fourth and so forth, because these are all disconnected. So now what happens with the customers, the other data that you see in here, like Borneo Post in the background, or Borneo Post or Daily, these are, we designed the room to be passed through. So the content never stays in here. It's a pass through. So wherever the source of origin content was based on rights management, then that content is allowed. In this case, we obtained permission from KPO Media to integrate those into the rooms. So people, when they arrive, the first thing they do, they read the newspaper. Now they can get to other things, right? And this was the reason that we said, okay, KROOM is more than a newsroom. But let's start with the newsroom, and we start adding new buttons. But these buttons are going to be supplied by third parties as a pass-through through the KROOM, which will not have any kind of an impact and violation of a trust unless they have given the permission. And if they stop it, then the content stops, like streaming, for example, that we are doing. Back to you.
Okay, another question, Doctor, or maybe VJ. In KROOM, you talk about first-party data. You talk about getting rid of the cookies and all that. So in KROOM environment, who will actually control and have access to the personal data? Can you elaborate it a bit further?
Yeah. The people that they have access to this data is Netsters, Vipa, and company that right now manages the entire process called Meta Exchange with K-Media Collaboration. These four companies are becoming the pillars of safekeeping of the platform in collaboration with Google. We use Google entire infrastructure throughout the globe with AI and machine learning, and creating a lot of protocols in collaboration after 4 years of work, that this data right now, depending on the geo IP, is located for the purpose of transportation, like K-Media servers and point of entries and everything else that we are talking about, is the closest to the Malaysian market for the purpose of communication collaboration. But the data that you're talking about, they have two ingredients, pass-throughs and the first-party data, like your name, your email, your passwords, and things in that nature. As a secure platform, like you use LinkedIn, for example, or Facebook, as you can see, right? Or other services, they all have a first-party data now that allow you to register. Then they send you what we call two-factor authentication, right? Hey, is that you? Multi-factor authentication, or AI identity resolution, right? Or biometric or facial or any of these variations, that it becomes part of what we call identity resolution. In the future, like some of this has taken place in other parts of the world, like in Mexico, our services gets connected to the national ID. So through the national ID, where the data sits is the national ID, not us, right? We come here, we say, hello, is that the right person? We authenticate, verify, validate, and then we send it out there. They come back and say, yes, Patrick is a legitimate Malaysian citizen that is allowed to come in. Let them in. Then we let them in. This is how we have built these layers of communication that as technology evolves, we can help KROOM to become more powerful with security. Back to you.
Thank you. Obviously, just now you mentioned about this, the online purchasing, shopping, concert, and all this. I would like to go back and ask a question like, can SME benefit from the KROOM, and rather how SME can benefit from the data clean room, like KROOM?
Right. Well, they can set up several strategies depending on their segments, markets, and the way that they are serving their clients. But there are some fundamental rules of communication. One of them is we want to be able to collaborate in real time with our customers, right? This is the ultimate methodology that everybody is looking for, having a space that we can personalize, privatize, and serve our client without interference of the other third parties. And that was the foundation of creating a secure room like Data Clean Room. How they use it, small business can use it for reaching out, outreach. For example, in country like Peru, so let's use that as a part of example because we are doing that, we have done that, and we are continuing to do that now in Chile, is a very simple process. Small businesses are in dire need of client acquisition. So we create trade mission in collaboration, we create fair, we create booth, we bring those small businesses together in an SME surrounding, and we bring the publishers' power and the traffic inside of those so people can come and visit the booth, right? That's an example that a job fair, a food fair, a market segment can be served, right? Virtually and physically. Or a small business wants to educate its customers by tutoring, training, providing content. They can use those rooms, provide sidebars with their content, with their registration, without worrying about the fact that there may be somebody replicating their site and making a fake news and sending it, because just like yesterday, we experienced an unwanted message from WhatsApp, okay? This was a violation of a security, and naive users don't know. They think WhatsApp is telling them to change their password, and suddenly when they click on it, everything is changed. They've been compromised. So to avoid that kind of issues, that we want to be proactive about it, that's one of the reasons KROOM is designed to help the small businesses, the companies that they want to grow. We can help them with the trade missions, like we did in Peru with several embassies. We connected all the embassies of different countries through the main office, and the small businesses were presenting themselves to the Canadian customers, to the American customers, to sell their products, people that they have never heard of, mocha or this kind of ingredient that it grows in Lima. They could ask questions and get answers, place their orders. All of this interaction otherwise would not have been realized unless somebody would have traveled all the way to Peru, go to that little store for the SME and accommodate that. So yes, it allows them to build an outreach channel and a marketing product that we, through KROOM and K-Media, will assist SMEs to achieve that goal.
There's a question from the audience.
Right.
They say, what is KROOM premium package unique selling proposition? And what makes KROOM so special that I will pay money to subscribe? Doctor?
Very good question. First of all, because we are special. So since we are special, we offer you a special program, right? The special program comes into a way that the premium says, why should I pay for it? Well, you pay for services like Zoom, like GoToMeeting, WebEx, all of this video conferencing, or some of them happen to be free, right? But you are taking the risk of giving your data to them, and in turn, you're receiving a service. This is the trade-off, right? I agree with my policy, so you can sell my data and make money like Facebook and others do, right? Versus a paid subscription where there are no third-party advertisers, there are no third-party intruders, and also the room is allowing you to grow your business. So it's a tool that you just add it to your tool set of communications, but without download, without install. For instance, one of our experiences has always been dealing with the elderly generation of our population. They don't know how to download, how to install, how to configure, how to change cameras and all of these things. It becomes very, very frustrating for the audience. Well, here is just a link. And the link allows us to basically provide the services that we can do a variety of programs that helps us to reach the goal and objective. Okay, so definitely it's important to understand that we are proactive with the SME. We help them out to grow their business, but through a premium channel that it's theirs. So they receive two rooms, a standard room that they receive all the information from K-Media, the newspaper, the advertising, and all of the relevant subjects, and their own rooms that it can be decorated, set up for their own personal and business use. Back to you.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Vijay. We are coming to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining us, to our audience.
Thank you.
Remember to tune in to our next session, which is on next Thursday, August 10 at 8 p.m. We'll be sharing part 1 of the KROOM experience, which will be focusing on the experience of the standard KROOM. You can join our session via our social media channels or click on to the our stream video event connection or link. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, please post it on our social media channels of our Facebook and IG, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep spreading the positivity. And we will see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Take care.